lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Check this out, right? Don't never be ashamed of who you are. If you serve God, then serve God proudly. The fact is, you should be celebrated. They sitting laughing at me. They thought I wouldn't make it. That's why I'm laughing back and waving at you haters. And if you never listen to this song, never pass it on. I just pray to God that you would come to see the throne. Cause we gon' celebrate. And it really matter what they gon' say. If they put us in the grave, I guarantee we elevate. So let the haters hate. Cause we gon' celebrate. They put us in the grave. Your boy gon' elevate. I'm on a different level. One that I didn't used to know. Mine off that new foe. I know my son now is twofold. That's why I'm writing new songs. Preach it like that I'm new on. I'm wealthy in the spirit. Somebody passed a great poop on. My daddy was a gangster. Blackstone Ranger. Now my daddy, that baby that was born up in that manger. They said that I was great and it's destined to be amazing. But all I saw was the one who died for me. Just for me to have relations. And it's crazy how the pressure almost made me conform. But the fact that in 84, Al Cam almost wasn't even born. My mom went for abortion. Doc said I was lost in the womb. She prayed to God to save her baby. I can't rolling out them tubes. Now this life that I'm giving, this gift is nicely presented. It's right with righteous within it. The Holy Spirit is in it. Intended life to be splendid indeed. It's time to celebrate. Full speed ahead, no time to break, no time to wait. Let's elevate. They sitting laughing at me. They thought I wouldn't make it. That's why I'm laughing back and waving at you haters. And if you never listen to this song, never pass it on. I just pray to God that you would come to see the throne. Cause we gon' celebrate. And it really matter what they gon' say. If they put us in the grave, I guarantee we elevate. So let the haters hate. Cause we gon' celebrate. They put us in the grave. Your boy gon' elevate. I got my backpack. So when it's time to go, before I kill them, I say Geronimo. I skip every class. Still got honor roll. Yelling out Magnum cum laude and screaming adios. That's how this life feels. Everybody wanna win inside of like you dog. I've been living life for a minute on pause. Tell me what it like gon' call. Yeah, I've been ball with it. Purchase, it ain't know it till they close them curtain. Running like a marathon, never stop. I'm ready for art translate, cause it's all been urgent. Father God is my only surgeon, so I just get the splurging. And I ain't talking money, Holy Spirit in me bursting. Just like a tidal wave. Yeah, I let them titles wave. Please don't call me nothing but a child of God who fight the state. That's why I take them steps. Then take an elevator. Who come up so they last? Who come up as they waver? That's why we celebrate. We gon' let them haters hate. It don't really matter what they gon' say. Put us down, we elevate. They sitting laughing at me. They thought I wouldn't make it. That's why I'm laughing back and waving at you haters. And if you never listen to this song, never pass it on. I just pray to God that you would come to see the throne. Cause we gon' celebrate. It don't really matter what they gon' say. If they put us in the grave, I guarantee we elevate. So let the haters hate. Cause we gon' celebrate. They put us in the grave. Your boy gon' elevate.
Amen. Awesome, 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 awesome music. Well, Welcome, 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 and thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Show on Elations Radio. I am your host, Chanel Lynn, and special thanks to the lovely Miss Kimmy Kim and Jerry Royce at PositivePower21.org. Our topic for tonight is a really good topic, and actually this topic is so good, I know that we are going to have another segment on this very topic. Our topic is about relationships, mending the broken bond between men and women, because I see in a lot of relationships, both men and women are hurting, and a lot of men are suffering in silence. And a lot of women are stressed out and giving up on their spouses and overall their entire relationships. And who else could be better for this discussion than two amazing yet ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things and have gone through and overcome relationship issues that made them stronger, wiser, and overall a better person. So we have on the show joining us tonight the gorgeous and most talented Miss Cassandra Wright. She is owner and CEO of Almost Twins Creations. How are you this evening?
Fine. How are you? Glad to be on your show.
I am doing very well. I'm so glad you were able to join us. I am so glad. We also have the very amazing and incredible Mark Anthony. He is owner and CEO of Mark Anthony's Collections. How are you this evening?
Good evening. Good evening. How's everyone doing?
Hallelujah. I am so excited. I am so honored, truly honored that you two were able to join us on this discussion on tonight. You guys are so amazing. So I'm not going to further delay the discussion at all, as we only have about 45 minutes. So, opening question. I'm going to ask you first, Mark, if you don't mind going first.
You're going to ask me to go first? Wow. Okay. We're going to make that happen. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Yes, and this is going to be very, 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 very fun. Okay? It's going to be enlightening and all of that. Okay, so what would you say would be the number one cause of any relationship or marriage to fall into ruin? The number one cause.
The number one cause for any relationship, if it's a friendship or a relationship, intimate relationship, or a marriage or engagement, is lack of communication. If you don't know how to communicate on both parties, it's going to shut down. It's destined for destruction of any relationship. If you can't talk to each other, if you can't communicate with each other, that's the number one thing. If you, my thing is, if anybody that I come in contact with, and if I can't have a decent intellectual conversation with them, they're put in a certain category, and they'll probably stay there until that it goes from one level to the next. But communication is the number one killer of any relationship.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that a lot of people don't want to communicate. I think when they feel like the other person might judge them, in certain situations, or that person will, look at them in a different kind of way. But I think that it's really important that, that people stay open and honest their feelings and even about who they are, even from the very beginning, because if that person loves you for who you are, then, nothing would make them leave. If anything, it would cause them to want to work through whatever the issue is, and then that make the bond, so much more, closer.
Well, in order for it to get to know anyone, you got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to talk to them, and when you do that, you're finding the strengths and the weakness of a person. You find what their love language is. You find out what they're thinking. You find out their button to push and what not to push. But, a lot of people don't understand that, especially with some of the brothers. They think that if I talk or show any type of emotion toward their mate, that makes them weak. No, that makes you even stronger when you know that you can have a conversation with the person that you're connected with or you're married with. That's strength. That's strength. So, like I said, you have to understand. You got to be able to communicate. But a lot of people don't know how to communicate. Once you get past, as they say, first base and getting to know someone, they don't have anything else because they didn't run out of rhymes. They didn't run out of lines. So, but you got to be able to talk to someone. You got to be able to talk. So.
Wow. Awesome. So, Miss Cassandra, I'm going to ask you the same thing. Well, what do you think it could be the number one cause, or just a cause, period, or a major cause that could make a relationship or marriage fall into ruin?
Like he said, communication is very important in a relationship because you should communicate about everything. Sometimes I guess in relationships, sometimes you get scared of criticizing one another, and some people can't take criticism, but that should be the number one goal in a relationship. Like, if I have something to say to you, you should be able to accept it and move past it or either fix it,
Right.
And some people don't recognize the problem that they have in relationships. So communication is very, very important. That comes before anything in a relationship. And then you go back and identify what made you fall in love in the first place because you communicated. Like you were on schedule. You were consistent with everything. You were able to talk to me. You were able to tell me stuff. And as the years go by, it's like some people fall off of that. They forget how to come to you and tell you how you feel. They forget to tell you what's going on in their life. If they're having a bad day, they might come home and take it out on you, and you like, okay, what did I do? So it's a big part is communicating, and a lot of people is not doing it anymore. That's why relationships and marriages are failing because they scared to come communicate about anything.
Wow. I think you said something that was really important, too, about how, the person can't, you can't be afraid of criticism. You have to be able to trust your partner, the person that you're with. Trust that, the criticism isn't just criticizing. It's, constructive criticism,
right.
Because we don't see, ourselves. We're the ones that are, we're in the mirror, or we're in the picture. You know what I'm saying? We can't see, the picture if we're in the frame. But if we, somebody's on the outside looking in and they're saying, hey, you're doing this and you're doing that, and it's going to be detrimental, or this is going to go wrong and this and that, you got to know and trust that person is not trying to be controlling or that person is not trying to talk down on you, but that person is really trying to help you, to be a better you. And so, do you think that dishonesty can play a part in being afraid of any kind of conflict, even criticism? Cassandra, I'm going to direct that question to you.
You say that again?
Dishonesty. Do you think that dishonesty could play a part in, a person being afraid of coming?
Of course. That's what we got going on. It's so much of it, that's going on right now. I think people getting in a relationship and marriages and they only stay in them for 6 months to a year. And they're not honest. They might fight and fall in love with that representative. You know what I'm saying? Then there are signs there to show you that, okay, this person is not for you. You know what I'm saying? But they're not being honest with themselves to say, okay, this man ain't for me. I need to let him go. But some people just want relationships so badly that they are willing to jump into anything. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of dishonesty going on in these relationships now. Is cheating. Cheating is like the number one cause of relationships breaking up right now, because both parties in a relationship, and it's more coming on women now. At first it's like, oh, these men. Now it's like the women don't even care anymore. They're cheating on their men, you know what I'm saying, with other men, married men, because they don't care, because they're not being honest and talking to their spouse or their husband to let them know the reason why they are stepping out, the reason why they are finding interest in other men. They're not being honest. So I think that's a big part of the relationship. Like, you have an issue, you need to address it. If it cannot be fixed, let it go.
Wow. Mark, what do you
well, this,
go ahead.
You have to understand, honest is not a learned behavior. It's built within everyone. We just choose to be honest. That's just we choose to do that. But there's another choice of being dishonest. I'm disconnecting from being honest to do something totally different. And and that goes with conversation or space or time or intimacy. Cheating covers a wide scope of things. Being dishonest, most men have conversations with other females for one reason or another. I'm not going to pinpoint, but for one reason or another. If you have a female that you're dealing with, most men will take an opportunity or have an opportunity to have conversation with other females, but that's cheating. Okay, so cheating comes in so many forms, but when you disconnect from honesty, you're being dishonest. So that's something that a lot of people don't realize, that when you're disconnecting from being honest with the person you're with, you're disconnecting from that person. And when you're disconnecting from that person, you're joining up with another person, and most times that other individual knows that that other person has a mate or a significant other, and they are disconnecting from honesty and being dishonest as well. So those are killers of relationships. We already know that, but when you're doing that, you begin to lie, and you disconnect from being openly able to communicate or have conversation with your mate or your wife or your husband.
Do you
hope
think
that makes
that
any sense? I wasn't too long with
it. Makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. That's why I'm getting ready to ask about love, because from my own understanding, being in love, with both people, both the man and the woman in a relationship or a marriage, I think that, I believe that, like, when you are in love, like truly in love with that person, that absolutely nothing would make you, you know what I'm saying, be dishonest. It's just, it kind of baffles me because,
No. Well, there are individuals who were in love with someone or who is in love with them and still are dishonest and still have lack of communication. Being in love doesn't have anything to do with it. It's just while you're dealing with someone, it's just a choice that you do, because loving someone, that's a natural instinct to love. That's just natural. Unnatural is to hate. Okay,
right.
But when you love someone in a monogamous relationship, you have a tendency to spend time and conversation and intimacy and all of that, and that has a tendency to make you fall, as what they say, in love. When I was in love with my ex, I thought I was invincible to the point that we were going to make it. Oh, no. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing worse than being in love in a one-sided relationship. So you got to understand that both parties have to be on the same page in the same book at the same time. If not, you're going to ask for disconnection. That goes back to being dishonest and disconnecting with communication and be able to communicate. You can be able to communicate, but can you communicate with your spouse or your significant other?
Very interesting.
And that brings you back to the representative of the person that you're meeting. You know, us as women, we are emotional, you know, so when we meet somebody, you know what I'm saying, we like attach fast, especially if we feel like, you know, that person is for us or he's telling us this, he's telling us that, things that we really want to hear. So it's like we fall in love with that, you know, like a woman, if we go out with a man and he's nice, he opens doors, he does this, he does all these nice things, we're going to go straight home, call our girlfriend, be like, girl, guess what, he this, you know, and then the male, he just go home and be silent, you know, and may not say nothing or don't even know how he feels for real, but he has winged this woman in to make her feel like, you know, there's a chance that they can be together, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's a lack of communication as well, and then a lot of people jump into stuff without talking about it, you know, like, what is your purpose in my life? Are you ready to be married? Are you ready to just have a relationship? Is this relationship for a season? Is this a relationship for a lifetime? And some of them jump into marriages and they're not even really ready. Some of them, I think they just doing it just because of the fame now. I mean, back then they probably were married because they married, but now I think it's a lot of fame because I've seen so many marriages breaking up, and they was like, well, he turned into this person right after our marriage, you know, but you should see the signs are there. So it's like you meeting a representative in the beginning because they're not being honest. And we as women, and men too, we go tell the men what we've been through. We go tell them what we're looking for. They become that person for the moment. But in reality, they're really not that person for real. They're not this loving man. They're not this loving father. They're not this man that want to be married. He's not a family man. You know what I'm saying? He could be a cheater or anything. So we fall in love with the representative of the person until we really see who they truly are.
Wow. Most of the cats that I associate with and I have contact with, and what I do talk with other cats and other guys that representation of men when they meet females, they're usually on their best behavior. So it's not a representation of them or a representative. It's just who they are. It's just they're on their best behavior because, number one, they're trying to get the attention or trying to have conversation with a female. Now, like I said, now you're talking about the younger guys. Yeah, they rep and come a certain way and all this, and they're not even ready to cross the street by themselves, but they want to have conversation with a female. It's the truth. But most cats my age, we don't represent. We come, like with me, if I come in contact with someone, I'm like, what do you want? What's your angle? What do you want? What do you want out of life? Where are you? What's your conversation? Who are you? And most females, I'm be honest with you, in between 30 to 40 to even 50, some of them, I'm not going to say most, but some don't know who they are, where they're going, and what they're all about. And, but they want to attach themselves to somebody else and find out who they are and where they are and what they're all about, and they don't have it together themselves. I use this analogy all the time. You go to McDonald's, and there's a young boy on French fries. The girl's not going to try to have conversation with him. But let the role switch. Let's say it's a girl on French fries. There's a guy going to try to have conversation because he is attracted to what appeals to him, and that is the look of a female. And then he's going to have private conversation. But females are taught, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to get in trouble. I say it every time, but females are taught to say no from 13 on up, but they're not taught how to hear no. They're not taught how to hear no from a man. No, but they're taught to say no.
Only some of them. Only some.
Majority of the females are taught.
I said the men too. They do the same thing.
Men are taught
back to the younger generation.
Right, men are taught to hear no, and that's the reason why they go back and forth. They're taught to hear no, but they're not taught to say no. Now, here's the thing.
They are taught not. They don't know how to say no.
I know. I know. Now, I ain't got no problem. I don't have any problem saying no. But here's the deal. But when I say no, guess what happens?
You get attitude.
Thank you. No, well, I get attitude, and they try even harder. You saying no to this? You say no? Yes, I'm saying no to this because that ain't nothing new. A good-looking woman is a dime a dozen. A nice-shaped woman is a dime a dozen. A good woman, you can't find too much in certain circles. Even in the church, ain't too many good women in church. No, ma'am.
Right, that's
what is your definition?
Older person.
What's your, no.
You know what you're looking for. You know exactly what you're looking for in a woman, and you can ask these questions. That's why I go back to the younger, what's going on now. Our younger generations in their 30s and under, they don't they don't know that. They're becoming. Like I said, this is the representative that you get. And I've met a lot of guys like that. Like 1 minute they'll be like this, they'll be like that. And then the next time you turn around, it's like, where is this person that I met in the beginning? And
they're not taught. They're not taught correctly. They're not taught correctly. What they're getting taught and the information they're getting is from media, what they see on television, what they hear, what they see. And most individuals who are in their 20s have a 40-year-old mother. Okay, and and so she was a young mother, and she wasn't taught, or he was a young man at 20, and the father's 40. He wasn't taught because he didn't know, and it's a generation. Now he's 20, he's gonna have a child. He's gonna teach him foolishness. So you have a disillusioned father and a disarranged woman, and they have a child. They're gonna have a dysfunctional family. You got to be taught how and what to do. And if you want a good woman, you want a good man, go to their house and see what their father looks like, what their mother looks like. And if their mother crazy, 9 times out of 10, that woman going to be crazy.
And I tell a lot of people that are getting into the dating scene now, like a lot of my friends, they call me, but my one friend, she was telling me that she don't care about his family, she don't care about his kids, and her relationships never work out. I said, because you're not trying to see what is this man's background? Is his mother and father still together? Do he have children? What is his life with his children? How is his communication with his child's mother? Does he work? What is his background? And some women is not looking for that anymore. It's like it's just an attraction.
Yeah,
they just attract to him. They see a picture and they're like, oh my God, I want him, and that's it. You don't know what this man's background is.
And it's the same thing when you go to the hospital and they ask you, did your father have high blood pressure? Your mother had blood pressure. For some reason, you got high blood pressure. It comes from your mother or your father. You got to get an understanding on who you're dealing with and where it comes from. If you want to find an abusive husband or an abusive guy, go visit his father. Or if you want to find his mother who has too much mouth, go look at her mother. And she gets it from her mother. Yes. So a lot of people don't take the time, and it goes back to what I was saying, communication. And when you sit down and talk to someone, ain't nothing worse than a man abusing or being abusive in any type of relationship. And there's certain keys and certain signs you can see right off the top. And ain't nothing wrong with a woman. I mean, there's nothing worse than a woman being abusive any relationship, because abuse can be verbal or physical. Most times women cannot jack up a man, but she can jack him up with her mouth. And a man, most times he can't jack up with his mouth because he'll lose every time. A woman can knock you out with her mouth. He will abuse her with his fist. So you have to understand when you're coming together with individuals, you must understand, can I talk to them? And once you talk to them and get an understanding who they are and their movements, find out where they come from. Find out where they come from, and then that will determine if your relationship is going to last 3 months, 6 months, a year, 10 years, or 15 or 20 years.
Right, yeah, but it's all the signs are there. The signs are in the beginning. If he's an abuser, if he's disrespectful, if he's a cheater, the signs are there, but we ignore them. You know what I'm saying? This lady, she has a book out that said all men don't lie. So it was basically telling the story of they don't lie because the signs are there, and us as women, we look past it because we feel like, okay, he made that mistake, so therefore he's not going to do it again because he came and apologized. But in reality, this is who he is. He's a beater. If he hit you once, he's going to hit you again. If he cheated on you once.
And it's the same thing with a woman. If she runs her mouth too much, she's going to run it again. She pops off at the mouth, she's going to pop off again.
Yeah, and if she's that type of person that'll come and embarrass you in front of your family, friends, your job, acting crazy, this is who she's going to be, you know. So that's what I say. You're going to see these signs in the beginning, but it's up to us as women and men to either accept it or ignore it and think that person might change. And some people take longer than others. That's why I tell in a relationship that I'm in now, it takes time. Change takes time, but you gotta want to change. Just like kids, you telling them this every day. Do this, do this, do this, do this. The same thing. It's going to take time for them to get it, and that's just like relationships. It's going to take time for them to get it. So either you're going to stick around and wait on it, or you could just walk away from it and say, you know what, I can't wait for you to change. I got to move on because it's taking too long.
Yeah, I don't. The thing is, when you grown. When you real grown, you ain't got time for no change because all they're gonna do is change back. When you grown, you develop habits. It takes 30 days to create a habit. It's called movement for 30 days, and you continue to do it, and you will create a habit. So to have someone to change, only God can give you the heart and change your spirit to change. But if you're not willing to change or you're changing, it's called temporary, and they go back to their same things. And like you said, same way of doing things, same way, same movement. And just like you said a moment ago, if a man hits you, 9 times out of 10, he's going to beat your tail again. And that's as simple as that. And if a woman pops off at the mouth, ongoing, and she said, I'm going to change. Nah, it's in you. It's part of your DNA. You're going to pop off if your mama's popping off, and popping off at the mouth. So that is the another sign of a ruined relationship. But here's the funny thing. There are individuals who just love drama in relationships. You're like, they just argue and fight all the time. Wait, they argue and fight and have kids. They got 13 kids and they're arguing and fighting all the time. So my point is this: some people just like toxic relationships. I'm allergic to any type of drama or conflict. And any female that steps to me and we have conversations, she looks like she's got drama or looks like she's got conflict. Have a good day. I don't have time.
Yeah, I know that's right. Yeah, a lot of them don't even care no more. They just getting into relationships. I read this girl's post yesterday, and she was talking about how she had been cheated on or whatever. And she had said on her post that she didn't care about any man having a girlfriend, any man having a husband. She said, why? Because when she was somebody's girlfriend, women didn't care nothing about her. They was all in his face. So she said now she's wrecking homes. She's wrecking apartments, townhomes, city homes, main streets, mansions. She said she even wrecking homeless people boxes. So
wow.
She said she don't care because she's been hurt. So now she feels the need to say, okay, I'm going to hurt other people. I'm going to wreck homes now for someone tear my home down. So it's like,
that's
it's
unhealthy.
Crazy. Very unhealthy.
It's just you and I talking or someone else on here? Did we lose somebody?
What happened to Chanel?
Chanel? Oh, Lord. It's in turn.
Hello?
I guess. Yeah, Chanel? I guess not. She's gone. But anyway, I don't know.
How did she get off?
Huh?
How did she get off the phone?
I don't know. Well, I don't know what. Go ahead.
Oh, no, this is not Chanel. I was trying to see if you guys can hear
someone
me.
else on.
Yes, I can hear you. We just can't hear
wow,
Chanel, I guess.
crazy.
Unless she had a bathroom break or something.
Uh-oh. I really like what you guys are talking about. When I first came onto the thing, and this is T Clark, and so when she asked you about relationships and you said number one thing is communication, I started screaming and everything. I was like, that is so true, and not everybody realized that. Not everybody realized that.
No, it takes time. It takes time to get to a certain level in relationships. Some people get it, some people don't. Some people are taught, and some people just are taught and they just don't get it. So it's a learned behavior how to communicate. It's just like learning how to talk. And you wonder why some individuals talk later on in life because they just were not taught how to communicate. And it's one of the factors in relationships. You have to be able to communicate.
Exactly.
So, do we have everybody? I don't know. Do we have is Chanel back on or what?
Right. I don't know what happened to her.
Okay. Well, T. Clark, thank you. Thank you for listening. I don't know if who else.
Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
My goodness.
Well, you had a smoke break, or?
No, I think Kimmy Kim may have put me on mute by accident. I'm thinking. I've been here the whole time listening. I'm trying to say. Oh my goodness. Please excuse the technical difficulties. I think I was accidentally placed on mute.
Okay, no
problem.
I
was wondering what was going on because I'm trying to say something and you guys just kept talking. I'm like, wait a minute, can they hear me? Oh my goodness. Okay. Good Lord. You said a mouthful. My goodness. I've had like so many questions that that was coming up when you guys were talking. But I think I missed out on the very last thing that you said, Mark. What was I kept hearing you saying about women popping off at the mouth, and I kept trying to say, can you explain what that looks like? Because a lot of women, some women don't know that they are being disrespectful or popping off at the mouth, like you say. But then sometimes there are some men who think that women are popping off at the mouth when actually they're not. They're just expressing how they feel about a certain situation. And it's kind of sometimes the reason why sometimes people don't like to communicate, because people will think that, that person is trying to argue when really that person is trying to express how they feel about a certain situation or something. So can you explain a situation like that? Mm-hmm.
When you have a bunch of women who look like housewives of Atlanta and they act like housewives of Wellston, that's what I'm talking about. Because housewives of Atlanta and basketball wives, they look good. Yes, they look good until they open up their mouth. Just drama and conflict. I got to get you told. I got to let you know what's on my mind. You ain't got that much of a mind, but you want to give somebody a piece of your mind. Now you ain't got no mind. But I'm just saying, to the point when you act like that, what you see on television, and that's what I'm talking about, because when you see individuals in night settings, and what I mean by that, clubs, or you go and to events and they just pop off just got to get folks told and let them know. Yeah, and I'm just like, please, for the love of God, shut up. We didn't know you was that stupid until you start running your mouth. I'm sorry, that slipped out.
True. No, that's true.
Oh, I know it's true. They go. Yeah, I'm serious. If you see women today, not all, but some of the younger sisters that go and they want to get the eyebrows and the eyelashes and the fake hair and all the stuff. They want to look like. Versus just be who you are and go from there. And then they do the running at the mouth, and I got to get her told, and I got to get him told. Yeah, I don't play this and this and that and this and that. And I'm just like, please, that's the reason why you by yourself. Ain't nobody gonna put up with that.
Yeah.
And you acting like, instead of the Housewives of Atlanta, you the Housewives of the Real Housewives of Kinloch or Wellston or something.
Wow.
It's the truth. Y'all laughing at it.
It is the truth. It is the truth. It is the truth. It really is. It really is. It's just really important, though, to even know the difference, because some, people who are immature will mistake for a woman speaking up for herself, or even just, trying to express how she feels or what she thinks about, her spouse or a situation or circumstance that she's, mouthing off, and really she's trying to express how she feels. But even with, I just think about how I am, I wouldn't, try to sort of argument because you're upset about something. The first thing I think that, a woman should do, because we are emotional beings, and some of us, we're not mature enough to know how to tame ourselves or discipline ourselves, you know what I'm saying, to keep a fire from sparking, trying to sit back and, evaluate the situation for what it really is, and then, coming to your spouse or whatever and asking, hey, is everything okay? Or this and this happened, and this, you know what I'm saying, this made me feel like, instead of saying, why did you, why did you do that? Why did you say that?
I completely agree with you. This is T.
I
was just want to say that a lot of times when people are in relationships, sometimes they don't know exactly what type of person they're in a relationship with, because some people take a certain tone of communication differently from others. For example, me, I'm a very sensitive person, and if a guy says something to me very rude or in an angry tone, I might take it the wrong way because I'm sensitive. So it all depends on what type of person you're in a relationship with and what they see tones as. Because you could be talking like right now how you're talking in a regular tone, and I might take it as an attitude, or I might take it, everybody takes tone in a different way. So when we get in relationships and when we're dealing with people, we have to really find out, what type of person they are, what type of person they are, and really be sensible to how they feel about certain tones. I think that's another factor, and it deals with communication as well, because you have to communicate those things. If you don't, it'll end in ruin. And they'll seek to want to talk to someone else who understands that they're sensitive to certain communication styles and certain tones.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really
aggressive than others. Like my guy, he's very overly aggressive, and I be like, oh, I can't deal with him. But now I've learned to accept that he's more aggressive than I am, So it's like when he's speaking his tone, I be feeling like, why you gotta be talking to me like that? But now I understand. He always tell me like, baby, I'm just aggressive. I don't mean no harm by, but that's just who I am. So now I've learned to accept his aggressiveness, with me.
Yeah, especially when you're passionate about things, we tend to change our tones. Like, for example, when a preacher is just giving a word and he's just speaking, he's using a different tone. But when he gets into that word of God, his tone changes. And,
he's more passionate.
And some people, when they're passionate, they have a different tone. And sometimes people take that tone the wrong way. I'm sure you guys have experienced where, you go to different churches or you visit a church and their tone is different and they seem like they're screaming. They're not screaming. That's just their tone. And so that's an example of different tones.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I believe that we are out of time, unfortunately. But I am going to go right to Facebook and go live immediately after this. I'd like to thank you all for joining and, on this discussion. Everyone did an absolute amazing job. Hopefully, prayerfully, you guys will be able to be back on. I'd like to thank my listeners for listening in. Thank you so much for your love and for your support. I'd like to give. We are out of time. I wanted to give you guys a chance to say some closing remarks. But for like maybe 2-3 seconds, can you, Mark? Can you give some closing remarks on how to mend the broken bond?
Oh no, it's real simple. Just take care of you, make yourself happy, and call it a day.
Amen. Cassandra, 2 seconds.
Just pray, ask God to reveal to you whatever He needs to show you. When you find somebody, communicate and ask God, is He for you?
Oh, amen. All right, T, thank you for joining in.
I forgot to say, put God in there.
You're welcome.
T, real quick, honey. Real quick, 2 seconds.
God first.
God
keep
first.
God
Amen.
first. Make yourself happy and call it a day.
Yes. Well, thank you all for tuning in to Let's Talk Show. I am your host, Chanel Lynn. I will see you all next Tuesday at this time at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on Elations Radio. We're going right to Facebook, so if you guys can join, you guys come on, join in. Everybody have a good evening. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Feel defeated and you're down for the count. You feel like life has thrown you blows and God ain't been around. But I've come to encourage you, so hold your head high. Know that God is in your corner now. Inner life, you are a winner. You just can't lose. Who burn a chaos more than a conqueror? Jesus in you. You are a winner. You are born to win. More than a conqueror, power within. You are a winner.